What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mr. Zero to Infinity for episode 43. In this episode, I'll be going over 3 top growth stocks that I plan on buying in June 2020. If this is your first time visiting the channel, I've been documenting the journey of growing one of my stock portfolios here on YouTube, starting at zero with 10 plus years of investing experience. If you've been following along the episode series, you know I started the stock portfolio at the beginning of the year, 2020, and I have yet to sell any stocks at this time. I haven't sold any stocks up to this point because the portfolio is very, very small in my opinion. It was just a little over $6,200 at the time I took this screenshot. Sure, a total gain of around 48% year to date is pretty good comparing that percentage to the S&P 500 index performance year to date, but keep in mind the portfolio isn't over 6 figures just yet. My goal isn't gaining just a little under $2,000. Remember, my goal is to build this portfolio from zero to infinity, and there's plenty of time to keep growing the portfolio. If you're looking to grow your portfolio as high as possible, then click that like button and maybe subscribe while you're at it. We just surpassed 1,300 subscribers. Welcome aboard the rocket ship. Anyone catch the NASA and SpaceX launch over the weekend? That sure was awesome to see. So before I get into the 3 stocks I think are the best growth stocks in June 2020, always remember that all my episodes are for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just documenting one of my stock portfolios. This isn't your portfolio. My thoughts, opinions, and commentary of finding the latest trends to build wealth in the stock market will not meet your own unique goals. For that reason, always do your own research and due diligence and never rely on my information in any of my videos, since a lot of my episodes include forward-looking statements with no guarantees things will work out as I predict. That's the fun thing about investing. All I do is place my chips, or in this case money, into stocks that I believe will go up in value over the long term. Does that always happen? Nope. But I try my best to find winning stocks based on facts and logic when I curate tons of research on specific companies. So let's dive into this one. 3 high growth stocks for June 2020. So I'm a bit different when it comes to these types of stock pick videos since I document the portfolio on your screen. In the portfolio, going from the largest position to the smallest based on the screenshot, we have Fiverr International, Apple, Penn National Gaming, SBUX, and my newest position, Square, plus a little over $200 in cash. Remember, I plan on adding more and more cash to the portfolio as I continue to level up the portfolio. I'm not going to add a ton of photos and video clips in this one, so if it was me, I'd just listen to this one like a podcast. Speaking of podcasts, anyone catch that Joe Rogan Spotify deal? Will this be a new trend for many other influencers to follow? Remember, I'm always looking for the next big trend. Spotify has definitely been on my research board. So let's recap my investment strategy for June 2020. I try my best to find trends. I know, this is a very simplistic approach to investing, but it works for me. It's not meant to work for you since I like researching individual stocks, unlike a lot of new investors that just buy stocks based on a stock symbol and a stock chart on their Robinhood or WeBull stock app. So let's get through the quick and easy to understand rundown. Keep in mind, my thoughts on my bull thesis for each stock has been documented throughout the episodes. This is episode 43, so there's 42 other episodes with a lot more information and research on these stocks. Keep in mind, my first couple of episodes weren't as high quality like they are today. Fiverr, since the start of the year 2020, I believe there's a trend for remote work freelancers. Apple, I believe there's a trend for the upcoming 5G upgrade cycle, and I believe there's a lot of people that love the Apple brand. Penn stock, I believe there's a trend for online sports betting, and more states will continue to legalize sports gambling. To be determined on that. Plus, I believe there's a need for content. That's where Barstool's sports brand comes in. SBUX, I believe there's a trend of many people that love coffee in the morning or during their work days. In my opinion, Starbucks is a leader in the coffee business, and there's a ton of store growth potential to continue around the world with online delivery trending because people like convenience and saving time of driving and standing in lines. Square, I believe there's a trend of new fintechs that are disrupting the old school bricks and mortar banks, which includes expensive and outdated infrastructure. I think the Cash App is trending, and more people are learning about the Boost program to save 10% at rotating programs like grocery stores, Walmart, Wingstop, Xbox, just to name a few. Sure, I'm capped up to $75, but at 10%, $7.50 is essentially free money, especially if I was going to buy $75 worth of groceries anyway. Will these programs stay at 10% long term? Who knows, but I know in the changing world, people want to save money and people like free. So that's the list of 5 stocks in the portfolio. So which stocks will I buy in June 2020? Well, as I mentioned in earlier episodes, my goal is to build positions in stocks that I have a strong bull thesis in. I don't need to invest in hundreds of stocks. I only need to invest in companies I feel are high growth stocks that I understand and can grow in value over the next 5, 10, 20 plus years. I would consider myself a long-term investor, so since I just started this stock portfolio at the beginning of this year, I plan on building positions and reducing my cost basis anytime I can get. Remember, all my stock prices will go up, down, and sideways each and every week. Basic economics, supply and demand. Basic principle, greed and fear. There are plenty of ways to find out the overall sentiment of the stock market. Are investors bullish or bearish? I'm always monitoring those weekly surveys since I prefer to buy stocks when they go on sale, especially if I have a strong bull thesis and there wasn't any major news update that would change my overall opinion on the stock long term. Since I'm looking to increase the size of all my positions at this time, I'll focus on buying more Starbucks and more Square since those aren't over 1,000 in size just yet. So that's stock 1 and stock 2 for the best stocks that I plan on buying in June 2020. For the third stock, you already know, I'm always doing my research on my current holdings, so I'll monitor major sell-offs in Fiverr, Apple, and Penn stock, but I do feel I will probably add more to my number 1 stock position at this time, which is Fiverr International. I haven't discussed this topic, but I'll probably go more in depth in future episodes. The topic is momentum, or in this case, momentum stocks. Momentum stocks are stocks that seem to just go up and up and up. When this happens, I love watching my momentum stocks continue to go up in value since it carries my entire portfolio performance. Just look at Fiverr's performance based on my cost basis at $27.18. The gain is a little over $1,200, which means I look upon that as if I'm playing with free money. Will this amount go down? There's always a possibility. When you have a momentum stock, you just sit back and watch it ride up, kind of like what Amazon and Apple did a long time ago when they hit the stock market. Sure, there are always bumps on the way up, but when you are spot on a pick that grows like those two, who cares if you increase your cost basis along the way up? I've said this before and I will say it again. I enjoy trying to find multi-bagger stocks, also known as stocks that just keep going up and keep multiplying a portfolio year over year with large returns of over 500%. That is my goal. I think a small cap stock like Fiverr has a lot of potential and there's a growth story. CEO Miha Kaufman and the management team recently announced an underwritten public offering of 2 million ordinary shares of stock, and I believe this is a good thing since Fiverr, the company, will have more working capital to expand the business and brand around the world. Some investors and analysts may look upon this transaction as a bad thing, but that's what makes investing enjoyable. Everyone has their own mind when it comes to taking action on stocks. I plan to take action in June 2020 with building my stock positions, focusing on number 1 Starbucks, number 2 Square, and number 3 Fiverr. Each growth stock has its own risk tolerance, and I always try to find undervalued stocks. You all know there will be excitement with the VTIQ stock merger to Nikola stock this week, NKLA. Maybe that will be a new holding sometime in the future. I've discussed DraftKings, DKNG, CrowdStrike, CRWD, Walmart, WMT, and Lululemon, LULU, in past episodes. Majority of those stocks have been flying high in this market. I've also discussed stocks that I don't have a long-term bull thesis in: AMC Entertainment, AMC stock, and Luckin Coffee, LK stock. Will my stance change with those two stocks? You never know. Time will definitely tell. Will the next stock market crash happen again this year? I can't answer that, but I know I'll be ready if it comes. The major question is, will you be ready to make moves in a constantly changing stock market environment? Let's end it there. Play the music. Maybe I didn't earn your subscription with this episode, but there's always next episode. It's free to subscribe, and a couple of my favorite comments from last episode are on your screen. Feel free to click on some of my earlier episodes if you enjoyed this video. Instagram is Mr. Zero to Infinity, so make sure to join in early. Thanks again for watching. Let's keep building from zero to infinity. You got this. As always, this episode is not intended as investment advice. Do your own research prior to making any investments and do your own fact checking. Read the disclaimer on your screen fully. Remember, all opinions in this episode are mine and mine alone. I'm not a financial advisor, and this video is for entertainment purposes only. Never rely on any of my information when making investment decisions.